Oh, wait. We don't quite, it's not quite 8 yet. Give it another minute. Oh, it's 8. Going back digital time. Okay, we are recorded now? Okay, we're recording. We're good? Okay. And if you will, kind of watch for Richard when he comes on. When he does, just bring him in. Good morning, everyone. Thank everyone for coming. It is 8 o'clock on Wednesday, January 26th. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Are there any introductions that need to be made this morning right now? I don't think so. So hearing that, I know we did not receive any public comment cards. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And is there anyone that has their hand raised as far as on the internet?
Not at this time, sir.
Okay, great. So then we'll move on from public comment. To public comment, we'll move on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda, of course, is approval of the minutes from November 17th, 2021 and December 8th, 2021. Everybody had the opportunity to go through those minutes. Do I have any comments, changes, or motions? Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Don Combs to approve minutes and second by Sarah. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say no. Motion passes. Move down to the informational reports, monthly financial statements. Everyone's given the fiscal year 2022, year to date, November 2021 and December 2021. Does anybody have any comments or questions on the financial reports that were presented? Or does staff have any comments they want to make on the reports?
No. No.
Okay. Hearing nothing, I'm assuming everyone is okay with the financial reports. That's just an information report, Counselor, isn't it? So we do not need a motion for that. There's no motion. Okay. All right, we'll move on down to the regular agenda. Presentation of General Manager's monthly report. Mr. R.J. Garza, I'm sorry, sir. Would you go over your monthly report, please, sir?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sheriff. We've been working very hard on every 3 years. We have a federal triennial review is what we call it. And there's about 21, 22 items that they have on their punch list for recipients that receive funds from the federal government. And in your packet on page 17, I have a list of the items where we're primarily responsible. There's some shared responsibility between NTMC and DCTA, such as like satisfactory continuing control. However, like the maintenance and some of these other items we're primarily responsible. We've submitted all of our or answered all the questions that we're required to at this point. It's just the beginning stages of a triennial. And so we'll submit, DCTA will be submitting that to the government, and then they'll come back with responses to find out if they have questions or if they see any deficiencies based on what we've already sent them. And it'll give us some time. The good thing is now that there's a virtual type of situation currently, we have a little bit more time to address some issues. We'll have like about 14 days. In the past, they would just come down and visit with us for about 2 days. And they would find some things and it would be hard for us to make adjustments. So this way, it'll give us a little time to address some things appropriately with DCTA, and DCTA will have some time to address those issues. But I'm very pleased with the with what we've submitted, and I'm looking forward to having a successful review.
Sounds good.
Now, I did want to brief you on the OSHA mandate. As you're aware, the Supreme Court recently ruled to hold off on that mandate. So, but meanwhile, we've had to make some adjustments based on the new CDA, the CDC's guidelines. We've had to modify or revise our policy. And in doing so, the ATU requested a negotiation of those policies to have to review the impact on them based on those policies. So we met yesterday, and I'm pleased that we reached a tentative agreement. This is going to be going to, it's kind of a heads up, it'll be going to the DCTA for review, for final review, and they will, there's some funding with that revision, and so, or with that agreement. And so pending that, we'll bring that back to the board on February for approval, for confirmation approval. That's basically it.
Okay, being in the insurance business, I'm well aware of those mandates because all the clients I have, they're employers, and they've been very concerned over these mandates. Everyone was very glad to hear the Supreme Court's decision because it was wreaking havoc in some areas, especially as far as budgets was concerned. And it was an unknown. It was just an open-ended unknown. And so now that's been called, but yet there were some other things that did come down from, like say, the CDC that they are requiring. So everybody's kind of having to jump through hoops, and I know it will be covered through our insurance program because the fully insured programs, which we are part of, and the ERISA programs are also required to do certain things in that as far as the testing goes. But there's not a mandatory thing.
Not a mandatory, not at this time.
That's good news.
And lastly, I just wanted to thank the facility maintenance team. They've worked very hard on trying to keep the facilities sanitized and clean. And in the report, I have some pictures of that. They've also, the facility manager have also had a crew come down, a vendor, to clean out the ducts in DDTC. And also, they had some roof repairs that needed to be done. That's been completed, and also we added some lights for better visibility at night for the maintenance personnel, and also for operations and early mornings and late at night coming in. So that helps tremendously. That's basically it for the monthly report. We do have the daily deposits report. If anybody has a question there, and we provide that monthly, just an update. Also, we have the organizational chart, and the vacancies on the left-hand corner. I just want to touch base on that real quick. The mechanic, we have a mechanic 2 position vacancy. We're still contemplating whether we should fill that or not at this time. If services increase, then yes, we would probably replace that or fill that position. We have an office coordinator position. It's been posted. And service attendants, we do have one vacancy in the service attendants. Those are the people that fuel the buses. They clean, sanitize the buses at night. We do have one dispatcher position available. And we put 6 operators there. We currently have a total of 58 operators. The number that we're trying to reach at the minimum is 62. So if we can be at the 64 point, then we'll be in much better standing. But 62 is what we're trying to is kind of our target number. We've had some difficulty. We've been struggling with not just driver shortages, but also with just the pandemic and itself. People, employees, either testing positive or having exposure, having to be out of work. Other people would just leave, and it's just been a little bit more difficult to deal with. But luckily, we've been maintaining. We did have a couple of call outs this morning and put us in a little bind, but I believe the management has that covered.
I think, of course, everyone is going through that continually right now. I'm sure all of you are aware that the Louisville Independent School District is closed schools for starting today through Friday. They will plan on reopening again on Monday, but for the same similar reasons. They can't get enough teachers or subs or this, that to fill in the spots. So we're not the only ones going through that. A lot of people are going through experiencing that with situations. So it looks like we're really doing pretty good. We're able to keep the business up and running and being effective. So that's really good.
That's all I have for that item.
Okay. Any questions from Mr. Garza on his monthly report? You want any questions or anything?
Only one last comment I want to make on the staffing. We do have, there is a position that we have vacant that we are wanting to reclass that to a HR assistant / recruiter. Since we're continuously trying to hire, and it's been, we've been using a vendor to help us recruit, but now that the funding has kind of, we already used up the funding, so now we believe that we need just to hire somebody full-time. They can also assist us with other onboarding, training, and things like that. So we'll be posting that pretty soon.
Okay. So that'd be a multiple position. They'd be multiple things.
Yeah.
Training.
That'll be a full-time position, help us with other HR items that we have. Whatnot.
Okay. Sounds good.
Really good strategy. I mean, recruiting always, it's a constant thing, right? Every month we come in, we have open positions. So recruiting operators is really important.
Right. Several companies I've seen are starting to do that simply because of the amount that they're spending to outsource it. And the results they're getting aren't there. So they're looking at doing that. While usually it's better to outsource because you have some of the other additional costs, but now some people are starting, a lot of employers are starting to bring it back into house as a multiple duty type position. Okay, with no questions, then we'll move on to item 3B. Consider a resolution for the 2022 N001 approving fiscal year 2022 budget revision of 2022-N001. Mr. Garza, again, you and Scott Lewis want to present that for us, please, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Scott.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. As you'll remember, DCTA anticipated eliminating a majority of the routes starting in December of 2021, and the current budget was built. Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Could you hold just a second? I
Sure.
just want to make sure. Sarah, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Just want to make sure I didn't see your picture. I just want to make sure we didn't lose you.
That's
Okay,
weird.
go ahead, Ms. Lewis. I apologize.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm on, my camera's on, so I don't know why you're not seeing.
There you
it.
are. Okay, we got you. I just want to
Okay.
make sure we didn't lose you. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
So DCTA anticipated eliminating a majority of those routes back in December, and the current budget was built with that pretext of those routes being eliminated. However, as you're aware, only 3 routes ended up being cut. So DCTA approved a budget revision of $828,352 at their December board meeting, and it just needs to be approved by the NTMC board. That this funding represents the additional expenditures, which of course is salaries, benefits, fuel, etc., for December 21 through September of this year for those routes that weren't actually eliminated.
So just to kind of go over that again, we couldn't really hear real well, but Scott, but I appreciate it, Scott. Basically this resolution is a budget revision that when we originally adopted, or y'all originally adopted the budget, it didn't have all the routes in there,
Right.
anticipating there was going to be a reduction in routes. And with that, since they kept the majority of the routes, with the exception of 3, that's what this revision is for, to put the monies back into the budget for salaries and whatnot, and to continue those services through the end of September, this fiscal year. So with that, I don't know if you'd like to read the resolution, or
Does anybody have any questions on the budget revision?
No.
Entertain a motion. This does need to be approved.
The resolution.
We have a motion to approve the resolution by Raymond, second by Don. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Pass it. Thank y'all very much. And thank you, Scott. Appreciate your work, sir.
Absolutely.
So we'll move on down to item 3C, which is presentation of the NTMC staff spotlight. Mr. Fred, is it Lippy? Did I pronounce that correct?
Yes, correct.
Oh, good.
Fred Lippy, and then
Yeah. Wow, I love his picture. Yeah, I love his photo. He looks good. I like it. Might need him to my house.
yeah, yeah, me too. Fred's been with us since November 2019, and he's been a very important member of the team. He works very hard, and all our maintenance staff does too. They all deserve to be recognized, but we like to have the spotlight on one in particular every time. And Fred was chosen, and he was just very pleased with his attitude and his demeanor, and his passion for the work, and you can tell that he really loves his job. So very, very pleased with him and happy for him, and just wanted to share that with you.
That is great. And Mr. Lippy, I don't know if you're on board, but if you're not, we'll certainly ask staff to pass it on, that we greatly appreciate you. Without people like you, our buses would not run. Everyone
That's for
understands that. We would not be able to provide the service. We appreciate not only your work, but your attitude, from what I understand, is just tremendous, and it does overflow to the people that you work around and that see with you and interact with you each day, and we greatly appreciate that. And that's what continues to make this organization a great organization. We appreciate you very much, Mr. Lippy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lippy.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. Anyone else have any comments on that? If not, we're going to move down to item 3D, discuss and consider general manager position. Mr. Hendrickson, I believe you're going to give us an update on that, please, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chair. As HTG has picked up another contract, one of the big important core values that we have as a company is to make sure that we put people where they are the best fit, and it's right for them, not only for the situation of the system that they're running, but also for their family and things of that nature. And so that's one of our key core values. And so with that in mind, HTG has picked up the contract down in Laredo, Texas. And as many of y'all are aware, Mr. RJ Garza is from that area. And so we are going to be moving Mr. Garza to Laredo to serve as the general manager down there. And he's going to start that position. He'll transition over the next couple of weeks into that position. And so we're going to be moving him out of here at NTMC. And then we wanted to propose some options for a new general manager here that can continue where Mr. Garza's leaving off at and continue to keep moving things forward. And so I'll entertain any questions y'all may have at this point.
On your position that you're looking, I mean, I certainly understand, and Mr. Garza, we congratulate you on the ability to move back home and be a little more with your family. And sounds like it's going to be a long-term option for you that will help you move forward with your family for several years. So that's great to hear. But on the Mr. Henderson, on the replacement issue, are you recommending someone here that does have general manager experience and has been in positions of this before?
Yes, sir. So I've brought a resume, and let me pass that out. We had a few different candidates that we were going to look at. Based upon the size and magnitude of the facility here and the operations that we provide, we wanted to provide, candidates that have previous general manager experience, that are aware of the things that are, going on in Texas and kind of familiar with the area. And based upon that, we are recommending that we bring in Maurice Pearl. I've worked with Maurice directly before. Maurice was a general manager in Lubbock, Texas, and I worked with him directly there. He has served as the general manager for the contract services at Trinity Metro for a couple of years, and then also served as the general manager and CEO of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Prior to that, Mr. Maurice Pearl was also a general manager in a number of other locations. And so based upon that, we think with his experience, his skill set, and where we are here at NTMC, it makes sense to bring him on board. HTG, relocating here and get him transitioned in with Mr. Garza so that they can pass the baton between each other so that we don't have any hiccups and nobody misses, a step or a beat. So that would be our recommendation at this time, based upon, where we're at as a organization and where I think we need to go. And I'll answer any questions anybody may have.
Not so much a question, but I do want to make a statement. I want to, RJ, personally thank you for your service to DCTA. Easy to be far away from your family, but you've always instilled a sense of pride and a sense of wanting to make sure that there's a good culture established within the organization. I just want to not only offer our thanks, but just pray for you and your family that this new role that you're going to undertake will be successful for you and prosperous for the communities you serve. And I also want to echo that it's vitally important that we have someone that is general manager experience as we transition the agencies. We all know we're going through a lot of different changes, COVID, input from these about routes and how they should be structured, planning around what future routes will look like. So having an experienced general manager would be very, very helpful. Thank you.
For what said, we appreciate. How long have you been here now?
Almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. Oh,
Started with a 6-month contract, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it? Yeah, I started with a 6-month contract, been there 2 years now, so that's good. I'm sorry.
I would like to say that I want to personally thank all of you all. Sarah, if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
I'd like to thank you. And I know Mr. Hayes is not here, but I really am I was honored to have served as your general manager. It's been a privilege. It's always a great opportunity, a good experience. Every agency is a little different. every agency has some challenges, you know. There's always things that are happening within the community or with the services and the demand of services, and now with the pandemic, it's been very challenging. And I am also pleased to have an opportunity to help Laredo. You know, Laredo has about almost 200 employees.
Wow.
It's a little larger, and it's a border town. So once they open up the border a little bit more, they'll have more people coming in and they use the services. It's a very high frequency type of service, mass transit. They don't have a rail system, but they do have a great demand for the services. And I'm privileged to have that opportunity as well. So I'm still vice president of HTG and I work with John. So at any point, if, you know, I'll be checking in. You know, I'm not going to leave you all in the dark. At the same time, I'll be checking in, and if I need to come down, I will. So I've already expressed that to John, and so my services are with you guys at the same time.
I
thank
wish
you
you the
very much.
best, RJ. I do. I wish you the best. And under these unfortunate circumstances of COVID, I have not had the pleasure of really meeting you in person and visiting, but thank you for all you have done and for all your work, and your positivity has been overwhelming. And I just wish you all the best as you go back home, so to speak. So safe travels, and don't be a stranger up here in the north.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hensley. Also want to mention, and if we have any of the employees listening in, you know, I want to thank them. They, you know, you have a great staff. We have great management. You have a good team. The operators are professional, and you know, the maintenance team, like I've mentioned, servicing. Everybody has a great attitude, and it's been a privilege. And I really I'm gonna miss them. You know, that's always the hard thing. It's always difficult. But thank you.
Just don't steal any of them now. Don't steal any of them, take them to Laredo with you.
Exactly.
I'd just like to add a couple more things. You know, when we came here on a short-term contract, and you know, we brought RJ in to improve employee relations and things of that nature. And I think that he's done an amazing job with that. You know, we had a lot of challenges with the union. We've worked through those things. And so I can't give him enough accolades on, you know, how well he's responded to that. And I think that, you know, Mr. Pearl, as we bring him in, he'll continue that environment and continue to grow, you know, what services that we're trying to promote here. And we'll continue to move, you know, NTMC forward. I do have Mr. Pearl on line now. If anybody has any questions for Mr. Pearl, or if you'd just like to meet him. I know it's virtual, but in today's world, that's more common than it used to be. So if not, we'll just continue moving forward. And you know, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to allow RJ to be here. We've enjoyed it, and we want to continue to serve and continue to help out where we can. So that concludes mine.
As a board member of the NTMC, we certainly look to your firm to provide a professional general manager. Based on his resume, he seems very qualified to step in. I don't know whether we need to vote on the general manager, but certainly you have my approval to move forward with
I think based upon the
Contract requires that you brought up with the board. I think that
Go ahead, button. Get your button.
because the actual contract does require that there should be approval of the general manager by the board. Let's go ahead and do an action item on it. So we have a record that it was approved by the board. The recommendation was approved.
First off, Sarah, were we able to send Sarah a copy of the resume?
I haven't.
I did not, I don't think
We will get that to you.
I will
That's
send it to
fine.
her.
Yeah. I mean, I
We'll
trust.
get that sent to you, Sarah, just so you have it.
Okay.
I I think you'll be fine with it. Is very
I'm sure I
impressive as
will.
far as his work record. And what I really like about it, not only has he been general manager, but he's had many years of working with mass transit, with
Yeah.
public transportation. And to me, I think that's going to help us in making sure that we don't have any hiccups, that we just continue to roll as we have been. And with that, I do appreciate both Mr. Hendrickson and Mr. Garza in stepping in on this role. Like I said, it's been almost 2 years ago. We brought you in and just, I mean, we had a person just resigned and boom, we were
Yeah.
kind of in a void, a big void. You stepped right in, jumped in, never missed a step and just kept things rolling. And I think have improved a lot of things and you had no idea what the things you were going to be going through, i.e. the pandemic, but yet you just kept on rolling and things have been going great. I know we've had a few little things, but then you also at the last second jumped in and helped with the union negotiations, both of you did, and that's just been tremendous for us. So
Yeah.
we really do appreciate all that you've done, RJ. And I know you've got to be excited about going back home, but I know you'll miss us too, just as we will miss you. And then, like Sarah said, please don't be a stranger. If we can
That's
ever
right.
help you out or do you, let us know, but don't steal any of our good employees.
That's exactly right.
And we look forward to it. And we're like, as Raymond said, we pray for you and your family that y'all be able to get back together and enjoy one another more again. I know that's essential to me. Family is always first, God and family. So
I appreciate it. Thank you.
so to that, yes, if we could, can we get Mr. Pearl's picture just to say hello, or is he not, are we not able to connect with him on visual? If not, I understand. Don, did you have anything else?
I don't.
Is that you, Mr. Pearl? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Well, we're impressed with your resume, sir, and I'm sure we will be very impressed with you once you come on board and understand that you're willing to be moved to the area and are going to be here on a full-time basis. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. I have been in the area before, and I have a family in Fort Worth, as well as my son goes to college in Texas also. So I do have family there, and I've been to Denton several times, and I really like it, and I think it's a good community. And I've been doing some research online and reviewing the website and other information, and it looks like a great transit system, and looking forward to helping out.
That sounds great. Being as, and I'm sure Mr. Henderson has explained it to you, but being as you will be the general manager, you'll be reporting directly to the board and to Mr. Henderson, who is the president. So with that, do you have any questions of us or any things that you would like to have us address as you come on board?
I don't at this time, and I'm very familiar, like Mr. Hendrickson said, we worked together previously, and familiar with the reporting structure as well. So looking forward to that, and that won't be an issue at all.
Okay, that's great. And I know that, as RJ has said, he will be available for you to help you transition. Of course, I know Mr. Henderson will also be available to help you transition. But I also want you to feel free, if you have an issue or something, feel free to pick up the phone or email or text, however you'd like to the board. You, like I say, do report directly to us. If you have concerns with some issue, don't hesitate to contact us. I'm not saying you need to come to us for every little thing, but if you see something that you think needs to be addressed, just please feel forward. Of course, address it with Mr. Henderson and as the president, and then come to the board and let us know.
Absolutely, we'll do that. I won't have an issue.
Anybody else has anything they'd like to say with Mr. Pearl or anything?
No, just
Pearl,
welcome.
what's the temperature in Indiana this morning?
Cold.
Cold.
Looking forward to getting back to the warm Texas weather, that's for sure.
Good.
Well, it's a balmy 28 degrees this morning here.
But it's going to get in the mid-50s.
Nice.
We'll ask you if you still want the warm weather when it's in August.
Oh, familiar with that as well.
Sarah, were you going to say something? Did we cut you out, ma'am?
No, I was just going to say welcome, and we're glad that he'll be here in the state of Texas, and I'm sure he's probably also happy that he'll be somewhere where it's not going to be opportunities for more snow and sleet and other things. It's a little bit better here. Where you don't have the well, without Storm Uri, I guess the bad cold weather. It's just cold.
Right. Anyone else have any comments or anything? Once again, Mr. Peel, we welcome you on board and we thank you. We entertain a motion to approve this appointment.
So moved.
Have a motion by Raymond and a second by Sarah. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Welcome aboard, Mr. Peel. We thank you
Yep,
very much
welcome.
for joining. I'm sorry, Mr. Pearl, and thank you for joining us and look forward to meeting you soon, sir.
Look forward to talking to you.
Sounds great.
Maurice. Thank you.
Sounds great. Thanks so much, everybody.
Okay. So that takes us down to item 4 is executive session. We don't have anything scheduled for executive session today. Nothing's come up. So future board meeting and agenda items. We see there that we have our next board meeting is scheduled for February 23rd. And is there anything that we need to, anyone would like to make sure we have on the board agenda?
Chair Dean, not so much the board agenda, but Ms. Keisha will be taking over the February board meeting. I will be in Houston getting married.
Well, congratulations.
Ms. Keisha will be taking care of the board meeting on that day. But I will be doing the proper paperwork and everything prior to me leaving. This way she's not left with the whole bag.
Right. Well, congratulations, and we pray that you'll have a wonderful, blessed marriage. And
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Chairman Euchard,
Yes, sir.
one thing that's going on is the TTA and SWATA Expo and conference is going on during that time.
What is
So
that?
It's Texas Transit Association and the Southwest Transit Association Conference will be going on in Austin
Okay.
during that time. And so I just wanted to make the board aware that I will probably be virtual on that meeting because I will be attending that conference. And I don't know if any DCTA staff will be there, but well, I know there's a couple that'll be there.
Yes, there'll be a few folks there.
And so, but I'll be attending virtually from down there.
With that being said, do you feel the need, do you think you need to take Mr. Pearl with you to any of that?
That would be something that I would like to discuss.
Okay.
You know, I need to figure out what makes the most sense. I mean, Mr. Garza is going to be in Laredo. He may actually be there. I think it's good. This is going to be one of the first conferences in the state of Texas, and it's not just the Texas Transit, it's the SWATA. So you'll have a lot of FTA people there from the Federal Transit Administration, and then also from, you know, just various industries because they're going to have an expo. So you're going to be able to see some of the new technologies. You can talk about some of the supply chain issues with vendors directly. And so I think they're important. Personally, I think that the networking that you gain and, you know, all of the insight that you gain from the industry, I think is important. So I would say that probably that would make a lot of sense. But I just want to look at the budget and make sure that we can accommodate